Bingo! It's your boy GiBb'od. Right then, recap on the BBC Tommy Robinson thing. Panodrama. Panodrama. Number one, hope not hate. Right? It's a George Soros think tank group created by him. If you don't know who he is, I'll go to him in a second. But hope not hate. They're basically there to speak against anyone talking about fascism, neo-Nazi stuff, anyone just talking shit, being a dick. But in actual fact, all they do is go after anyone talking opposite to the mainstream media narrative. That's it. It's an absolute, it's just debilitating free speech. It's stopping anyone speaking out against it. That's all it's designed to do. It's branded like it's this and it's this, but in actual fact, it isn't. A couple of things that George Soros has created. The Open Society. Google the Open Society. See which countries it's in, where it is, what it's doing, what stories it's censored, what stories it's ran with, and shit like that. What else? Black Lives Matter. That's him. Hope not hate. That's him. Some of these Me Too or another moment, they're him as well. Cast your mind back to Ukraine and Russia. Remember when Ukraine and Russia were going to have this war and it was going to kick off? Yeah? Who was behind that? George Soros, trying to start a war with Russia through Ukraine as the proxy to kick it all off. Yeah? Same as they're doing now. The Arab Spring uprising, do we remember that? 2011, whenever that was, remember that? All of that? Well, that was by him. He facilitated the coup, got it all kicked up, allowed the social media to be what it was, got the guy in who was going to be in, who was saying all the nice stuff, I'm going to do this, power to the people, then he got in and he fucked them all over. They co-opted that revolution. That was a revolution that was co-opted by the elite. Standard practice shit. They do it all the time. All the time. Anyway, hope not hate. Look into him. The censor Farage, not that I really care for that dickhead lately, but we'll see what he's like in the future. The censor Trump, the censor Tommy, Marlowe, anyone speaking fact or truth or opposition to whatever's coming out of this square fucking demon box, whatever's shite is coming out of that mainstream telly, they're promoting it. The other thing to bear in mind, like Tommy says, I forgot about this, they advise the UN. They advise on terror. They advise the UN on how to deal with certain things. All media outlets in the country talk to them. All of them. Why? Why are they having talking point influence to the media? The media is there to report on fact, the way the world is as it happens. Not bias, not lying, not cheating, not steering the story somewhere and negating all this other stuff. That's not storytelling. Well, that is storytelling. It's not factual truth telling. There's a massive difference. Massive difference. BBC Panodrama. So if you haven't seen it, watch it now. Panodrama, watch it. So someone goes undercover, or before he does that, he gets someone to send a text message off the internet. It's not even from his phone, but making it look like it's from his phone. He does that at the start of the thing. Sets up the thing, someone goes and meets John Sweeney, who's a dick, liar, arsehole, wanker, knobhead, and the BBC can't even sack him at the moment because he's got dirt on them. How mad is that? The BBC can't sack him because he has dirt on them. How corrupt are the two of them? How corrupt? Fuck me, man. Anyway. So, he sets up a sting. He's got him banter rights. He's lied. He's steering the story a certain way. He's telling her what they would definitely be in, what they're not going to put in, where the story will go, and in the middle of it all, we'll make a gender, a this, or that, a sexual thing. A sexual thing. So you're not going to report on the biggest court case in modern history, where a man was reporting on grooming gangs that were all going down that day and getting sentenced. The trial was over. There was no way he could have affected the trial in any way because it was all done. The verdicts were reached and they were going there that day to get sentenced when he originally got locked up. So it wasn't contempt of court. The names he said and read out outside the court, the BBC had already printed them, as I said at the fucking time when I went to that rally. All that shit going on. And we found out that then he gets out of jail, he was wrongfully imprisoned, it wasn't contempt of court, and the judges what sent him down have acted illegally, fraudulently, corruptly, bent. No fair trial, no due process, no jury, nothing. That should be what they're reporting on. The attacks on his life, different things. And then if he has been racist, and he has said shit, and he has been a knobhead, and he has done all these things that the media keep saying that he's doing, yet there's no evidence and there's no footage for it. So they were setting up a sting. So you've got the biggest investigative journalist corporation in the world go around trying to make up a story, telling lies, creating the story, creating the narrative, changing it the way they want it to give the optics that they want it to have. Yeah? Their public perception that they wanted to portray him like. The perception deception. Deceiving our perception of the true reality of the natural world we found ourselves in around us. The perception deception. Keep repeating the stories over and over and over, all over the same sort of lines. So it creates the echo chamber. So everywhere you go, all you hear is this and that. The same thing. Well, it must be true because they're all saying it. No, they're all fucking lying. And that has proved it, amongst many other things. Just look yourself. The only thing criticism I will have against the whole thing was at the end, he didn't tell you all to remove your implied right of access. He obviously doesn't know. He tells you they can still come to your property and they can see you looking. Ring them up and remove their implied right of access. Then they can't do shit. You have all the power. Right. What's that? If you can see it. That is a stone carving by a paedophile called Eric Gill. And at the end of the Tommy Robinson thing, he showed you that. Eric Gill. Yeah. Oh, there's another one. Look at that. Jesus meant to be descending from heaven with a stonker rock hard boner. Sexy. So I can't tell how to make this one. This is another stone carving. It's a boat with two dudes, a man and a woman. One with a halo. I don't know, is he a fisher of men? Is that what it's trying to say? Or are you dumping those kids in the sea? A fishing net, kids in it. You either rescuing them out of the water or you're dumping them in. I don't know. There's another one. This time it looks like a woman with a child. Anyway. I think bear in mind with this guy, Eric Gill, all his work is now stored away in the Smithsonian and the British Museum. Off public. You go online, they removed a lot of his artwork, things like this. So basically, Eric Gill, who is this guy? His stone carving of, who was a paedophile, stone carving of a man and a boy with a flute, fucking weird positions of his leg out. It was outside the BBC tower. That is their monument statue outside BBC's headquarters. And there was a thing around the world a few years ago to get all this fucker's artwork removed from the entire planet, everywhere, because everyone knew now he was a paedophile and he was prolific. He wasn't just sleeping with his sisters, he was sleeping with his daughters. Also was fucking his dog. It's in his diary, read it, go look. It's a doddle to find. Let's have a look. So this dick was born in Brighton, England, 1882, lived till 1940, yeah? He joined the Fabian Society, or the Fabian Socialist Society. If you don't know what the Fabian Society is, I suggest you look at Mr. Corbyn, because he's in the Fabian Society too, just like half the lefties. Anyway, so now go on this site. Was it traditioninaction.org? Go on this site and check it out. Just type in Eric Gill, Tradition in Action, and read his site. It's class. He's got loads of links. He's done tons of work, tons of information. Goes into all his stuff. So, distributism. Eric Gill, the paedophile founder of distributism. So, distributism basically is an economic and social theory based on a Catholic social teaching regarding as a third way between capitalism and socialism. Oh, them two big things again, capitalism, socialism. It is one of the ideological roots of the Catholic worker movement and has had an indirect influence on the new economics of E.F. Schumer and threw him into today's Green movement. Fuck it. Basically, what they were trying to do back then was get the religious church in to these movements. So basically trying to bring people in who were at the church and push them into socialism. Yeah, bring it about in here. Now go back in when this was. So you're talking 1900s, yeah, early 1900s. It's all going on. And they do this all the time. Look through history, man. The church will set things up, organisations or a movement, and it tries and captures the people, and they do it over time, they do it over decades, they do whatever. They're now doing it again. We've had capitalism, and now they're trying to reset it all for socialism again. That's why it's commie cracks everywhere. And dumb people, stupid people, sorry if you're stupid and dumb, but you all think it's great. You think it just means sharing. Well, I'm sorry, it doesn't mean that. It means far from it. Look how many wars socialism will cause. Look how many people die under socialism. It doesn't work. Capitalism doesn't work. Look where it's got us. Democracy's a load of shit. Do you think we have democracy? What's going on with Brexit? What is going on? We don't have democracy. We have fascism. And even if we had democracy, I'd want that burnt in the ground as well, because that's a load of shit. That's the haves and the have-nots, the us and them. It should be done. All for one and one for all now. Feed the world, house the world, clothe the world. That's what it should be. There's enough money and resources on the planet for everyone to be sound. Anyway, this dick. So some quotes from him, right? So what you're going to start seeing now, if you start studying paedophiles and looking at these people through history, there's fucking hundreds of them. And they're always in places of power, and they're always household names that we're supposed to know and love. Like Savile, a household name that we know and love. That's how they do it. Hidden in plain sight. Yeah? Satanism again. Inversion of reality, the opposite of what is. That's what it looks like, but the truth of it is actually opposite. Savile, oh, he's all nice, he's all lovely, he's doing stuff for the people. That was the perception. That was the deception, sorry, that they put on us. The truth was he's a vile, evil, horrible cunt of a predator, and he was fucking and chucking everywhere he wanted to. The Queen was handing him keys, the kings were handing him keys from other lands to go and shag children in their countries, in their children's hospitals, yeah? Anyway, certain words and phrases as you'll hear when they're talking about paedophiles. Gill's subject matter swung between the deeply religious and the highly erotic, a direct echo of his eccentric life. Eccentricism, eccentric, yeah? You always hear, oh, he's eccentric, he was eccentric. If you're reading on paedophiles or you're someone suspected of a paedophile and they keep saying eccentric, or lots of different people saying it, it's code, or media saying it, it's code, yeah? Eroticism forms an important part of his words. This dude was took into the Catholic Church. He was a priest, by the way. Forgot to mention all that. Whatever he was. Read it yourself anyway. I'm not going to here to tell you. I'm no preacher. I'm no one. Find and look this stuff yourself. Be your own researcher. Find your own truth. Believe no one. Don't believe anything I tell you. Look yourself. Look yourself. Basically all I want to say about this guy is got loads of dodgy looking artwork. Tons of it's been ripped off the shelves. You can't even see it anymore. It's a statue outside the BBC by a paedophile. They fucking loved him. He's hailed in all there. But loads of his arts and works and things that are going on now in the world, the socialism, push for religion and all that. Boom, it was all going on then. It's all going on now. That's why I'm telling you to look. Because they repeat the patterns. Because we weren't alive then. We don't know what they did then. So they hide the media, they lie, they do all the bullshit, the censorship, change history. I mean, Google search results now, I mean, what a load of shit. You type in Horton not here, George Soros, or try to find factual things, and you just get shit after shit after shit after shit after shit. Google is so twisted, and think if you are not typing in the direct thing what you're looking for, you're going to struggle to find things now on Google. You need to get off it. It's insane, the censorship, man. I haven't used it in a way that I would use it years ago, say 5 years ago, 3 years ago, and I went on to do some mad research a few weeks ago, and it doesn't work the same. I couldn't use it. I've got archive sites, libraries and other things to find what I was looking for. I couldn't find it specifically on Google. I'm now using other ones, DuckDuckGo, Brave Browser, Ecosia, but they're all running from the same mill, but they're not censoring as much stuff and you get stuff through. So fuck Google, man. Yeah, she's just going on here, she's just talking about certain paintings, quoting things he said in his certain life. I mean, In another biography, Eric Gill, London, Faber and Faber Limited, 1990, that's the book. Author Fiona McCarthy reports that his sexual obsessions included adultery, incest and paedophilia. Gill had sexual intercourse with his 2 sisters and sexually abused 2 of his 3 daughters. Yes, this is what McCarthy states, and I found no refutations to these statements. If you do a bit of research, do a bit of digging, he talks about it in his diary. Talks in his diary is if you, how does he word it, if you try and lay with the dog, it bequeaths you, it says a word basically, if you try to lay the dog, it responds, it lays back. Basically, if you try to say, fuck your dog, it'll buck back. That's what he said, not my words. That's what this guy said, who made statutes, was a rampant paedophile, fucking and bucking everyone, was in the Catholic Church, was pushing socialist movements among the people, was meant to be a man of the people, helping the people, bringing the church to the people, and all this shit, when really, he's bringing socialist agenda in, that wrecks a family, ruins a family, makes more poverty, makes more vulnerable children, more poverty areas, so it's more fucking pray for the priests and the church. This is how it works. It's all about poverty. Where there's poverty and disparity, there's abuse, there's paedophilia and there's grooming. It's hand in hand, man. That's why they're up here and we're down here. And they want it like that everywhere. And the push, you see it now, posted the other day, you can buy 3-year-old sex dolls now. 3-year-old sex dolls. Places in London between 8 and 10 on a night. Children and adults of all ages are welcome to come and do naked swimming under the guise of, oh, it's just the British naturists. What a perfect way to usher in paedophilia. What a perfect way. Who is that going to attract? Who the fucking hell is that going to attract? So while you've got all the madness going on, you've had Tommy Robinson censored. You had the royal family coming out yesterday saying, oh, we're going to put this is now what we think is appropriate and not appropriate, and we're going to start censoring tweets and comments about us, and if we find any unsavoury, we'll report them to the police. So now we have the fucking royal family censoring us because they don't like shit being said to them. What, you don't like that you've got all them ties to Savile? You don't like that Prince Andrew's an alleged paedophile, been to court, covered up, paid, all that's going on. Epstein Island. Epstein fucking Island. Look into Epstein Island. That case is coming back out. Jeffrey Epstein, Epstein Island. The BBC covered it and lied about it in the past. Shock horror. Go back and look. Epstein Island, Lolita Express. Who's been on the Lolita Express? Find out how many fucking politicians have been on the Lolita Express. Where is the Lolita Express? What it is. Where's the island? Who goes to his island? What other islands are like? Jeffrey Epstein's paedophile island. Maybe St Helena Island, owned by the British monarchy. No. Look. Fucking look. The censorship is going through the roof. We've just had terror, fake attacks, whether they're real, whether they're not. I couldn't give a shit, because it's all bollocks. Even if it's a real attack or not, it's still bollocks, because it's not some pure twisted fucking jihad that wants to fuck us up. It's some radicalised nutter that's sat in a mosque getting radicalised by an imam that's under government funded charity. They're coming over here setting up mosques under government funded money that we fucking pay. And they get in there, they raj them up, radicalise them, set them up, cells all over, kick it off, wait for the perfect opportunity and go. And we've had none for a while, and then all of a sudden, boom, we've had 3. Ooh, best do what they say, the terror's back, the terror. Fuck your terror. Fuck your terror. Look at how many, everything's just ramping. Everything. And it's by design. It's by design. And we've got the Michael Jackson documentary, it's out tomorrow, talking about I was a paedophile and that. He might have been. Looks like maybe, but the timing of it all. You've got Cardinal Pell, the top 3 and 4 popes under the Pope all going down. The Catholic Church is in turmoil. The top Pope boy's being meant to have stripped of all his power. He's got none, but he's just going to stay as a figurehead because he's got caught basically. It's a load of shit. Paedophiles getting caught all over. There's a massive trafficking rings getting broke up every day. The awareness of it's coming up. The Momo thing was just distraction. Distraction from the bigger story, which was that it blew up all around the world that there's paedophiles on the comments on YouTube videos for kids. Look yourself. You type in yoga challenge, any of the fucking challenges kids do on YouTube. Just find any videos of young looking kids and click them and go straight to the comments. Spend 20 minutes doing it and I guarantee you find some. I guarantee it. So if you can kick Tommy Robinson off, or you kick all these other people off YouTube, Facebook, boom, like that, and that's just gone over a couple of months. But we know you've had paedophiles grooming kids on Facebook on YouTube for well over 10 years. Just type it in, Google, yourself. It comes up. So over 10 years, they still haven't sorted that problem. They're still allowed on. It's still happening. Yet if you speak out against anything that's going on in the world right now, it's not the official story in the papers. You're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a white supremacist. Don't sit well with me, that. It's bullshit. It is bullshit. All the madness that you see, and this is the deception, the perception deception, tricking us that reality is one way, splitting us off into two polarising arguments, the left and the right. So half of us jump on this side, the other half, and we all just fucking route instead of stepping back and going, hang on a minute. You're saying all this shit but you're ending up on that road, and you're saying all this shit but you're still ending up in the same place. That's what's going on. That is what is going on. Two-party tyranny. Look it up. Study it. Research it. Look at things Corbyn said 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago to what he says now. Fucking flip-flopping turncoat scum. Look at Theresa May, the Pisa, the dickhead of Pisa. May. Same thing. Look at what she did as Home Secretary. Look at what scandal and cover-up she covered up as Home Secretary for this country. None of them who's standing in them seats of positions of power in this country represent us or we the people. None of them. Unfortunately, we're on our own, but our weapon is social media, is letter, and is ringing in, and is doing protest in the streets, massive, but politically, and then fighting it in law, and going to the houses and the judges of where these people live. That's the only way it does. Look into Slovenia when it fought for the university tuition fees. Look how they beat that. Watch a film called Michael Mill, Where to Invade Next. Look how they beat that. 50 kids beat that. 50 kids. 10 fought it legally in the court systems, and 40 arranged protests and went round to all the politicians' houses and different people's houses just to put the shits up them. And it fucking worked. Look at Iceland, the pots and pans revolution. Look into how they did that. Because we've got it coming. The banking recession is going to happen, whether it happens now, next year or the year after. Within 2 years it will happen. We are going to have a reset, right? And we've got a choice. Do we bail them all out again when it's their fault, it's their mistake? They've created all the debt. It was their fault. Our mortgage fucking goes through the roof. We lose all our houses. It's their fault. And then we have to pay for the debt that they created, their mistake. We didn't make the debt. They made the debt. It's all fake. It's all fugazi. Are we going to pay for someone else's mistake? That's all you've got to ask yourself. Iceland said no. Other countries have said no. It's time England did. Because I'm sick of this shit. Where we go at one, we go all more fours.